Hope can only be renewed when government and the people invest in hope itself by working to make the next man better than themselves. But what we have is a renewed scope, not yet a renewed hope. Why the government keeps sloganeering a renewable hope despite standing on a wobbly mandate and doing the same thing despite promising a different outcome, like spending billions to renew houses in a land of hunger. And also the people who are criticizing the government are also waiting for their turn to chop from government despite this criticism. That's the catch-22 that we are in. If you like, we can blame government actions and inactions and as the reasons for doing most of the things we do. After all, they say the fish gets rotten from the head. But we also are collectively, directly or indirectly, responsible for the decay in the society because we are the one that go into government. I tell you, in Nigeria, there are no oppressors. We only hate the fact that we are not the ones oppressing the other. And that's why we are fond of this mentality of, do you know who I am? So don't be surprised if our biggest prayer is money without work or blessings without hard work. That's Nigeria. Once our young boys and girls are daily going into fraud and scam as a trend that has become increasingly shameless, our young girls also have turned prostitution to an enviable career as they debate the propriety otherwise of a young lady sitting and folding her arm or opening her leg while the man provides every of her needs despite the fact that our mothers were never sit-at-home mothers. Even the word sit-at-home mother is alien to Africa as our mothers never stayed at home waiting for their husband to fend for them. They farm cassava, vegetable, peppers, and sell at the market while still attending to the regular activities of Zaoza room of their husband, who farm yam and other various cash crops. Some of us grew up with fathers who were teachers and mothers who were nurses or traders. Or if your father was working in the ministry or the military, your mother was trading or is a nurse or working somewhere. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. But back to today. Madam, they maltreat that young girl for house, staying with her as house help. While Oga is also busy abusing her sexually every night. Yet, Oga and Madam comes out the next day cripsly, praising God for favor and blessings, while criticizing government for everything. How different are you from the government that you are criticizing? Have you not noticed that government for your own house, you are busy abusing it? So if you are elevated to higher authority, that is the same thing you abuse the people under you. The officials at the airport are ready to collect money to circumvent the rules or even use the same route to harass and intimidate you until you part with something. But we get home and criticize politicians. How different are they from the politicians? The EFCC officials, just like the police or law enforcement agencies, will frustrate a case based on the fact that the suspect has religion's relationship with them or based on financial consideration. And then turn around to label the politician a thief. My brother, my sister, you too, you be thief. Just that you never carry your own entire higher level. So you are not different from the politician. The church pastors, POS operators, civil servants, artisans, drivers, the fuel attendant, the everyday person is looking for every opportunity to take advantage of the next person while blaming everybody but themselves for the situation. The lawyers, judges, INEC officials, lecturers, labor union leaders, critics like you and I are not different from those that we are criticizing and leading, because they also at some point once criticized those that we are leading. That's why there's no sector that is insulated from the rot in Nigeria. With the current inflation rate, as government, they renew their own or our hope. The ordinary people also are renewing their scope to fleece the next man. Nobody's ready to blink, and yet we are blaming each other. Imagine Akpabio do birthday stadium food. Yet more than half of these people were somewhere the day before criticizing government, but they were quick to be mobilized to the stadium to celebrate one of their sons, some who might not even know him. You see, those where government they oppress are celebrating their oppressors. Anyway, my Igbon say our politicians have the grace of God upon them. So maybe God loves our oppressors. If you like, point accusing finger at the lack of governance as a reason for our behavior. After all, in a land of lawlessness, it is illegal to be law-abiding. But we should also not complain when these same people use the same system against us, because we are looking for opportunity to rig one another out. So since we have all chosen to be lawless, so don't complain when lawlessness hits you. I will therefore advocate, until we change our attitude, whether in private or in public spaces, we'll continue to exhibit these behaviors when elevated to higher authority. While those below us will continue to criticize as they also wait for their turn to be elevated and scoped from public purse. let us change our ways. That's a fine place to stop. Until we see you again next week. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. Like and share, as it is your own way of helping to create a society where we can reorientate the mind for a better society. But I want to specially today, at the end of year, thank all of you out there, old, young, middle age, who despite the rot and the hardship and the decay, still remain lawful, law-abiding, and refuse to circumvent the process and believes in hard work. May you live to truly see a renewed country. For our collective activity, our little collective activities reflect our larger value. See you next week.